everyone, my name is Emma and I just wanted to film this quick video to kind of share my experience with vestibular migraine. I have had it now for coming up to 4 years in May, and I really felt that as I started to feel better, that I really wish there'd been more videos out there that were kind of more success stories than, you know, listening to horror stories that you may hear about, people who struggle with this for a long time and don't really feel better. So I really wanted to share some positivity about this condition and to kind of spread a bit of awareness, I guess, and yeah, just to kind of share my experiences with it. And then if it helps somebody, if it can support anybody in any way, then I'll be so happy with that. So yeah, just kind of, I'll try not to dwell too much on the whole story because I would think I'd be here for hours. But I first began experiencing, now looking back, I first began experiencing signs of like dizziness and vertigo probably, I would say, the end of 2017. I was getting kind of like balance issues, and I went through a period of a couple of weeks where I was really off balance, and I remember thinking this is weird, this isn't right. I went to my GP, I was given some balance retraining exercises, and kind of just went away, and I never thought anything more about it since. And then I used to be a primary school teacher, so I was under a lot of stress. I was very overwhelmed, working all hours of the night in a very kind of, now looking back, a very stimulating environment. A lot of noise, a lot of movement, a lot of lights, a lot of stuff going on all the time, like sensory overload basically. And I think I've always had a migraine brain. I used to get migraines with aura when I was a teenager and kind of into my early 20s. I'm 32 now. But they kind of like were few and far between, like maybe like a few a year. So they definitely weren't significant, and not significant enough for me to be on medication or avoiding triggers or anything like that. And then I was teaching, obviously, and then I actually went on a trip to Australia for a couple of weeks. Came back from the trip from Australia and went straight back into work, and I think my body was just like, whoa, this is too much. You literally need to stop now, and otherwise we're gonna make you stop. So yeah, I remember sitting at my desk, my teaching desk, and I remember like just turning to the right hand side, and like my whole world just spun upside down. And it kind of just escalated from there. I don't really, just the rest of that day I kind of powered through because I just thought, okay, I'm just having a bit of a funny turn. So I had like a little lie down in the staff room. I wasn't overly concerned because I was like, oh, I'm probably just coming down with something. So I really wasn't worried. I was just a bit like, oh, that's weird. And then after a couple of days of that, my symptoms not improving, I was kind of like, there's something more going on here. And I don't know why, but just something in my gut was telling me this isn't going away anytime soon. And even though everybody around me was saying, oh, in a few weeks' time, you'll look back at this and you're not even going to remember it, I remember thinking, I don't know, I just felt like there was something more going on. I don't know. You can just feel it sometimes in your gut. And I knew that something was going on with me that was about to really change things for me. So I guess then the long story short, I guess then for that kind of next maybe 6 months, probably actually until the end of the year, so like May till like the December, it was a roller coaster. It was consultants, private hospital appointments, NHS hospital appointments, trying this medication, trying that medication, acupuncture, chiropractor, massage, you name it, I tried it. There was literally no stone left unturned. And it was very frustrating. I think first of all it was scary because I didn't know what was going on with my body. So the symptoms I was experiencing really, really intensely for like the best part of a year, I would say. So I had vertigo, I had balance issues, so I always just felt like I was bobbing, or like things were just like swaying all the time. I had a extreme visual sensitivity, so to movement, to light. I wanted to wear sunglasses all the time. I kind of wanted to do this all the time. I just felt like I had a really bad hangover every single day, but without drinking, which obviously is just not fun at all. You can't function. You can't function like that at all. So yeah, so brain fog is another symptom which I often get and will forget my train of thought. So yeah, so my symptoms were kind of everything all at once: dizziness, headaches, tension headaches, some nausea. I couldn't go in supermarkets. I couldn't do anything. I was literally pretty much bedbound for the first couple of months. I didn't feel comfortable or safe leaving the house by myself. I remember I tried to go for a walk around the block and pretty much crawled home because I just couldn't, like, my body was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And I just felt like, you know, those films where they try and show the camera angle from a character's point of view and they're like running. This is what my vision felt like. It just felt like it was doing this all the time. So yeah, it was terrifying. It was really, really scary, and I didn't know what the hell was going on with me. I had no idea. Every doctor that I went to was like, maybe it's this, maybe it's labyrinthitis, maybe it's visual vertigo, maybe there was a whole list of things. And then I came across this reference to vestibular migraine, and I was like, okay, this is interesting because I have got a migraine brain. The symptoms are kind of matching up. But then it was saying that it was like episodic, and I was like, but this is constant. Like, I didn't have a single, and I still don't have really, a single moment where I don't have something weird going on with my brain, which sounds really over the top. It sounds like I'm exaggerating, but it's just that sometimes, and now, there are like big periods of time where I can kind of ignore it, and it's really like calmed down to the point where I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's not really a thing anymore. So train of thought's gone again. So yeah, so I've got this vestibular migraine idea in my head. And I really wanted to go to a hospital in London. I'm from up north, so it would have been obviously quite a big referral to go down to the south to get this appointment. But I was very keen because it was to see a neuro-otologist, which I think is very specialist in this particular area. So I really pushed for this appointment. I also pushed for an MRI as well, just to rule out anything kind of more severe, and luckily that came back clear. And yeah, finally got down to London. By that point I was like 90% sure it was vestibular migraine. I was like, I can feel the food triggers, I can feel the lack of sleep triggers. I was like, this is making so much sense. And then I was at the hospital, amazing hospital, so good. Saw some amazing doctors, nurses down there, and yeah, they've just put me through every single test that they have: hearing test, balance test, VNG test, funny goggles, spinning me around in a chair, everything, the works. And so I felt like I got a full MOT on that day. And then at the end of the day, I then got my appointment with the doctor, who then went through everything and was like, yeah, I think this is vestibular migraine. And I was like so relieved to have had somebody tell me, like, this is what we think it is, here's the treatment plan. That was a very, like, felt like a very big moment finally, after, like, I mean, that wasn't probably a year and a half into the symptoms, so I was still running around going, what the hell is going on with my body, for like a year and a half. So it was yeah, it was a funny old year. I had to give up my job. I didn't see friends. I was living with my parents. They had to support me so much. I changed my entire diet. I changed everything, stopped drinking, completely uphold my entire lifestyle. And like the person I am now is so different to the person that I was going back, like say 5 years. But I'll get onto that. I will get onto that. So yeah, so got that diagnosis, was really happy about that, and I was like, okay, I now feel confident to like try this medication properly, and see if I can figure out if one of these is going to help. I mean, I'd also tried all the other stuff, so the Heal Your Head diet, the migraine diet, the everything diet, everything that you could possibly think of, and I kind of came to the conclusion that all of that, doing it all, wasn't the solution for me. But what I did manage to pinpoint was like very specific triggers. So I know sugar sends me like buzzing, like my brain's literally feels like it's shaking when I have too much sugar. Fizzy drinks, caffeine is a big one. You just kind of get to know, oh, wheat is also a big one for me as well. You just kind of get to know what your body responds to, and mine's a fairly quick reaction as well. It's like I'll eat something, drink something, my body's like, nope. You are now going to be dizzy for the rest of the day. So yeah, so that was back to the medication. Sorry, this is going all sorts of orders, but I'm hoping it's the information is still helpful. So I tried all the normal routes of medication, so the propranolol, amitriptyline, nortriptyline, topiramate, did the whole shebang, and finally got myself onto venlafaxine, which is Effexor, I think, in the US, and that's the one I'm on now. This is the one that's helped me. I had to persevere. I had some very dark days trying the different medications. They are a roller coaster in themselves. Like, besides the condition, they are a whirlwind in themselves, and you really have to have a lot of strength to get through some of those trials of those medications, because I was so nervous to try medication. I really didn't want to go down that route. I'd convinced myself I was going to do it all by myself and I was going to cure myself, and I definitely think that those things are such a contributing factor to the position that I'm in now, but they're not the be all and end all for me personally anyway. So I am currently taking Effexor. I know it doesn't work for some people, but it's really, really working for me. I would say it's got me from, I would say I got myself to 40%. So say I was at like 5% when I first developed the condition chronically. I would say with the holistic stuff I was doing, maybe got me to 40%. I would say with the Effexor, I'm around 65 to 70% most days, which doesn't sound like a lot still, because it's like you'd want to be 100, but from being at 5 or even 40 to like 65 to 70, that's huge. I am basically living my life pretty much normally. So yeah, so I'm on the Effexor now. Really not having any side effects with that. I would really like encourage people to make their own decision with medication, obviously, but you know, to give them a go. If your doctor is recommending you to try the medication, you know, you have to kind of be a bit brave and be like, okay, we'll just hopefully give it a go. And you know, literally you can just obviously speak to the doctor and come off it if it's not working for you. As soon as I felt like my body was not happy with the medication, I was like speaking to the doctor saying, this isn't working, I need to come away from this, and they obviously would then help me come off it. So I think trying the medication is scary, but once you get onto that path and you can persevere with it, you can find one that will help. In most cases anyway. I thought I was never going to find one that worked for me, but Effexor is my little saving grace. So that's that. I am currently waiting to have Botox. That is something which I want to be trying next, because what would be fantastic is to get closer to that 100%. So I have got a good couple of people on my Instagram that I speak to that have had Botox and have found that that's been really helpful for vestibular migraine as well. So that's what we're waiting for at the moment, and I will maybe at some point do another video once I've had the Botox to see if I have got from 65 to 70 and then higher. So yeah, so like where I'm at now is, I would say most days minimum 60. Bad days I do drop back down to about 50, but those bad days are like 1 a month, 2 a month max. So on an average day, I have some vertigo, some balance issues depending on where I am, if I'm in a busy place with bright lights and stuff, if I've not had very much sleep, or if I've eaten some things that I shouldn't have, and visual issues. So I've never really had visual snow, which I know a lot of people talk about, but I feel spaced out. This is the biggest symptom that I chat to other people about, is feeling spaced out. So basically, I have not felt like I have been on this planet for coming up to 4 years now. It's a very weird sensation. It's definitely improved, so I know that it's getting there, and in my eyes, that means there's no reason for it to go away completely, because some of my other symptoms have gone away. Like I used to get tinnitus and popping and blocking in my ears and nausea and stuff. That's gone. So I do think that that's going to go eventually, but that is my worst symptom. Like I chat to people about this all the time in the vestibular community, and it is by far the worst thing, because you just feel like you're not in your body. Like right now I feel like I'm kind of drunk but kind of dreaming. It's a very weird combination, and I would describe it as like when I'm feeling good, I'm like, my head feels fresh today. So I can really tell when I'm having a flare up, because the first thing I feel is really, really, really spaced out. So yeah, so where I'm at now, just to kind of give people that bit of positivity that I was referring to at the start, I work 30 hours a week it's an online company that I work for. Flexi, so like home and also in the office, so that's really nice because I can take the home days at a slower pace. I have been abroad, I have flown to different countries, I work out, I go on walks, I see friends, I go clubbing, I do things that I never ever thought I'd be able to do again. Met a partner like a few months into having vestibular migraine. He's been amazing. I would say that's a big part of it, is finding a support network, people around you that understand and will support you when you're having those bad days. And yeah, the most recent thing, which is like the most exciting part of this for me, and also kind of the reason why I wanted to film this, is because I have qualified as a yoga teacher as of the end of last year. My biggest challenge yet with vestibular disorder. It was hard, it was an intense course, but very supportive, the place that I did it at, and I have kind of worked out from that I want to help people through my yoga who may also be struggling with either chronic illness, vestibular issues, or just like a beginner that doesn't feel like yoga is accessible for them. So if anybody is interested in some yoga for chronic illness or yoga for dizziness or vestibular issues, I will add my details for my yoga in the little info box at the bottom, and you're very welcome to follow along. I've got Instagram and Facebook. I do upload free videos and little top tips from time to time, but I am also doing classes as well, and at the moment making plans to launch some online dizzy classes, which I'm hoping will be really helpful for people. Yoga was one of the first things I started doing along with meditation when I was very, very chronic and really, really poorly, and I strongly believe it helped me get back on my feet and has really improved my balance and my confidence. So it's something I'm very, very passionate about sharing with other people who have been in my situation. So yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell. I am healing, I'm recovering, I am really happy. I feel positive about my future. I feel excited about my future, which I didn't for a very long time. Takes you to a very dark place, having a condition where you feel like everything's spinning and moving and things are flashing, and like it's so debilitating, so debilitating. Um, but life is good. There is so much, positivity to come out of this for me. I have completely changed as a person for the better, completely overhauled my lifestyle for the better. I have met some amazing people. Amy Shock, you have been my saving grace over the last few years, and she's also a personal trainer. So I feel like she really inspired me to head down the yoga teacher route, because she's just smashing it as a personal trainer with a vestibular condition. And just everybody else that I've connected with. It's just such a nice community, and people are so supportive. And I was very dependent on people when in those groups and things when I was first going through the very early days. So I want to kind of be able to help and be that person for somebody else. So I've probably missed out a million things that I wanted to talk about in this video, but the summary is life gets better, things get better. I feel a bit emotional even saying this, but things do improve, and you are going to get better, and you are going to feel better, and you are going to have better days. Advocate for yourself, try new things, keep moving, look after yourself, give yourself a break, give yourself the rest when you need it, and push yourself outside your comfort zone where you can, because I think that's been the biggest thing for me, is achieving things. I actually went on another tangent. I went to Paris a few weeks ago and went on roller coasters. I went on Indiana Jones. Didn't quite make Space Mountain because I thought that might be just too much, but I went on the Indiana Jones ride with a loop twice, and I was okay. So there is hope. You will get better. You will have better days, and I am sending lots of love and support to everybody and anybody in who's going through a really rough time with this at the moment. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I will speak to you guys soon.